So what happens after the big world-ending crisis? I'm not talking about the world. I'm talking about the heroes who saved it. Today, we are diving headfirst into the strange, wonderful, and kind of heartbreaking world of the comic series Black Hammer. It's a story about a group of superheroes who won the final battle, only to lose absolutely everything else. This is your guide to their bizarre 10-year exile. All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start by setting the scene on this mysterious farm. Then we'll get into what the farm really represents for comic book history. After that, it's time to meet the superfamily, break down their core conflict, and finally, look at the big, huge question the entire series is trying to answer. Before we meet a single character, this quote right here, it gets to the absolute heart of it all. See, this isn't a story about powers and capes. It's about what happens when these mythic, larger-than-life beings are forced to be painfully, tragically human. Just keep that thought in your head as we go. Okay, so let's set the stage. Our story kicks off 10 years after Spiral City's greatest heroes saved the world, and then just vanished. Poof, gone without a trace. So where they go? Well, the answer is way, way weirder than anyone could have possibly imagined.
Yeah, they're stuck. And I don't mean retired. I mean they are literally imprisoned on a farm in some small nowhere town, completely cut off from everything they've ever known. For a solid decade, they've been pretending to be a normal family. And let me tell you, that facade is starting to crack. This isn't some peaceful ending. It's a slow-burn psychological thriller.
But here's the thing. The farm is so much more than just a physical prison. It's actually this really powerful meta-commentary on the entire superhero genre and its, let's say, complicated relationship with its own history.
To really get what the farm is all about, we have to talk about this term deconstruction. You've probably heard it. It's basically the modern trend of breaking heroes down, giving them all these flaws and internal struggles to make them feel more real and relatable to us. And this just lays it out perfectly. I mean, we went from those classic golden age ideals, these aspirational figures who did the right thing just because they could, to this modern demand for relatability, where our heroes have to be flawed, sometimes even at the cost of their heroism. And Black Hammer asks a terrifying question: what's the actual psychological toll of making that shift?
So basically, the farm is a metaphor. It's where old-school comic book archetypes get sent when the modern genre decides they're just too simple, too old-fashioned. It's a limbo where they're expected to just quietly not exist for the so-called greater good of a grittier, more realistic comic book world.
So with all that in mind, let's finally meet the family. Each one of them is a classic hero type forced into a boring, mundane role, and their day-to-day life has become this pressure cooker of resentment, nostalgia, and just pure despair. First up, we've got Abraham Slam. He's the group's burdened father figure, and he basically represents this painful attempt to just accept their new, deconstructed reality. He is desperately trying to make it all work, pushing everyone else to just find a little happiness for the greater good of the family. Of course, his whole mission to embrace the quiet life puts him in constant conflict with the ones who just can't let go of who that used to be. And you can see his inspirations pretty clearly. He's got the patriotic drive of a Captain America, but with the gritty, non-superpowered fighting style of a Wildcat or a Daredevil. And next, oh man, this one's tough. This is Golden Gail, the rebellious daughter, and honestly, maybe the tragic heart of the entire series. Her story is just such a cruel example of what deconstruction can do to a hero. She is a mature, powerful adult hero who is permanently trapped in the body of a 9-year-old girl. Having her identity and her adulthood just ripped away from her, well, it fuels this incredible rage. She violently rejects the quiet life Abraham is pushing for. Her anger, her pettiness, it all comes from that loss, making her a symbol of pure rebellion against being forced into relatability. Her inspiration, it's not subtle at all. She's a direct female version of the original Captain Marvel. Then you've got Barbalien. He's basically the family's sarcastic uncle, and he sits right in the middle of Abraham's acceptance and Gail's rebellion. His entire character is really defined by that internal conflict. He's the guy who tries to fit in, but he's complaining about the effort the whole time. He'll even gripe right along with Gail. He really embodies that impossible, unsustainable compromise of being a mythic hero stuck in a boring human role. His main archetype is pretty clearly Martian Manhunter, with maybe a little hint of John Carter's Warrior from Another Planet vibe. All right, now things are about to get weird, literally. let's talk about the family's wayward son and total wildcard, Colonel Weird. His mind was pretty much shattered from traveling through all of these bizarre dimensions, so he's a completely unpredictable force on the farm. He's always got his loyal 1950s robot Tokiwoki with him, and he just kind of phases in and out of reality, speaking in riddles. He is pure chaos. He could hold the key to getting them all free, or he could be the thing that finally tears this family apart for good. He's a mashup of cosmic adventurers. Think Adam Strange's Man of Two Worlds problem, mixed with Doctor Strange's trips to madness-inducing dimensions. And finally, we have the distant, often overlooked mother figure of the group, Madame Dragonfly. She lives in this creepy cabin on the edge of the property. And honestly, the others usually just dismiss her as this quiet, withdrawn presence. But that would be a huge mistake. Her control and influence over the family is subtle, but it's incredibly powerful. She is a mysterious and absolutely crucial part of the farm's dynamic. And her inspiration is super unique. She's not a hero. She's a mix of those eerie, fourth-wall-breaking hosts from old supernatural horror comics. So when you throw all these broken people together, you get this massive core conflict. It's really a battle of wills that boils down to two totally opposite ideas about how to survive something that feels, well, unsurvivable. On one side, you have Abraham Slam, and he is pushing for acceptance. He's arguing they just have to make this new life work for the good of the family. And on the other side, you've got Golden Gail, the voice of pure rebellion. She refuses to accept a relatable reality that's stolen her very identity. And that tension right there, that's the engine that drives this entire story. So all of this whole setup leads to the ultimate question of the series. If forcing these mythic characters into a boring, relatable box just breaks them, then what's the alternative? See, the series isn't just pointing out a problem, it's actively searching for a solution. And that's the central question Black Hammer is asking. It's a critique of deconstruction, for sure, but not just to tear things down. It's trying to find a path toward reconstruction, a way for the classic, aspirational heroes we love to actually coexist with the complex stories we want today. And that's where we're left. Can you have it both ways? Can a character be a mythic, inspiring figure and a complex, relatable person without one completely destroying the other? Black Hammer doesn't give any easy answers, but that search is exactly what makes it one of the most compelling things you can read in modern comics.